check this out. This is so cool. This is in their garden stick. They have all these pepper plants, and these are pepper patio hot wings. And you can see there's over a dozen plants. I mean, this thing, if I planted out in a raised bed, would take a lot of square footage, but in just one garden stake, you could have over a dozen plants. And this will definitely probably yield you a lot of hot peppers. Maybe unless you're Hispanic or something and like your hot peppers. Besides growing peppers in the garden stick, you can grow something like flowers, which we'll show next, and even some tomatoes. So let's take a look at that next. Here are some flowers growing in the garden stick, and it just makes literally like a tree or a nice shrub of flowers. So I'm not too interested in the flowers, but what I am interested in is the tomatoes growing in the garden stick. So you can see all they do is have a standard pot there at the bottom, and tomatoes growing in here, and there's once again over a dozen tomato plants. And you could see, check it out, we'll move some of these leaves away. I mean, this thing is loaded with tomatoes. I'm just picking up these plants. They're just so heavy and full of ripe tomatoes. It's absolutely amazing that in just like literally less than 4 square feet you can grow like lots of tomatoes by once again growing vertical. And I highly encourage you to grow vertical. Man, there's some ripe ones right there. I think I gotta eat that one right now. That was a good tomato. So I can definitely vouch that whatever is grown in one of these garden sticks tastes real great. Besides just growing the smaller cherries, which I would probably encourage you to do, they're gonna yield more and be more fruitful in the long run. You could also grow the larger sized tomatoes, you can see. But if you do, you want to make sure you get some kind of patio tomato that's going to stay small, because if it's going to vine out a lot, it's not really going to work too well in a system like this unless you constantly prune it back and maybe even single stem it. But once again, they have over a dozen almost like full-size tomato plants. I mean, here's one that's just about ripe there. So here are many of the different garden sticks. They come in a variety of colors and 2 different sizes. What we're going to do next is actually show you a garden stick growing cauliflower and explain the different sizes and how they're used. So here are 2 of the garden sticks right here. These are probably my favorite examples at this whole place. The one right here is a 4-inch garden stick, and it has all these herbs growing. Now, herbs would be an excellent thing to grow in the 4-inch, once again, it's not too big, garden stick, because there's not a lot of soil in there and herbs don't really root too deeply. Another thing that might be good in here is lettuce for the 4-inch garden stick. And I like the garden stick concept because you can use them in a pot, and then you could move the pot around. So say in the middle of summertime, it gets too hot in the direct sun here in Florida, so you can actually literally pick the pot up and move it to a shady spot so your plants won't get burned. On the other hand, we got over on this side the 6-inch garden stick, which is a lot wider, and that allows for more soil. And this one allows you to grow things like peppers, tomatoes, and even cauliflower. You can see this cauliflower is forming a flower nice and good. You got a nice big plant on there. And I want to remind you guys can eat your cauliflower leaves. It's just like eating some collard or kale leaves. They're absolutely delicious, and I love them a lot. But if you're growing them for the cauliflower, you don't want to pick too many leaves, because the more leaves you pick, the less photosynthesis the plant can do, so it won't make as big of a flower. So what I tend to do is I come around and just pick the couple bottom leaves off, off the bottom, and to allow for the new growth to continue, but leave a lot of leaves on the plants. So these garden sticks are approximately 6 foot tall, and as I had mentioned, they can be used in a pot, or as you just saw in the field, you can actually plant them in the ground. So you could literally plant these and have a bush of flowers or tomatoes literally in your garden. So that's definitely really smart.